G'day, welcome to another day in paradise, and today I'd like to give you a catch up on what's going on in the backyard, and the boys are here to help me. G'day Sonny. Now, I've been planting mint along this back wall of the house, hopefully to keep the mosquitoes down, but those ones over there have slowly been dying off from the heat. Now, I've been taking cuttings, putting them in the aquaponics and then transplanting them down. I've just filled this one up. So hopefully I'll get those other ones done. Now the herb barrel is in desperate need of a trim back and some composting. Now the way it works is just an ordinary barrel with holes cut out. You can find this on YouTube on many channels with a how to. And in the centre is 2 terracotta pots that are celastic together. Now you fill that up with water, and the water slowly transpires through the terracotta and fills up and waters the herbs that are in there. Now around the fire pit over here where I planted my berries, dog's favourite spot to lay behind, is my raspberry canes, which the new growth coming on this year, next year, will be the fruiting canes. So hopefully I can keep the growth rate strong and produce lots of berries next year. Now potato vine's doing well for shade, and here are Japanese blue tea flowers, which I bought online. They do have a technical name based on the shape of their flowers, which I'd rather not say out loud. It's a little embarrassing. I'll put it up on the screen for those interested, but they use the blue petals to make a tea, which is really good for arthritis and inflammation pain. I haven't as yet tried it, but they are a very nice climbing variety. Now the Hills Hoist passion fruit vine is here solely to provide shade for the dogs. We have a very large concrete area, but it's reached right to the end rails now and starting to get flowers all the way along and throwing a little bit of shade, but once it fills right in, the dogs will hopefully have a little bit more shade from that concrete area as the afternoon sun hits the back of the house pretty hard. Now up in the patch, I've just finished turning over a lot of the new grow beds, simply putting new compost in from the chook cage that I cleaned out and getting them all ready for planting. I'm not going to walk around because I have a sprinkler going there at the moment, so hopefully we'll be planting in there next week. Now in the aquaponics in here, I've covered the filters trying to keep the algae down, and it's helped keep the ammonia spikes down, so I'm back to 0 ammonia and 0 nitrites. The rhubarb's doing quite well. It's a warm day, so the leaves are wilted off just a little. Garlic chive's starting to flower, so I'll get some seeds from them. The chilies and the capsicums still doing really well for growth. Now they call them a capsicum, a long yellow capsicum. They do taste like capsicum, not like a chili, whereas the chilies on this one are quite hot. There's 4 on this branch alone, which I need to pick off, but they're doing quite well. Now the little Thai chilies, the smaller the chili and the darker the red, obviously the more heat. You only need a tiny bit of those unless you don't like your taste buds. Pennywort's doing well, growing down both sides. It's used for arthritis as well. It's just mixed in with the salad, a couple of leaves a day. The rest of my chilies are taking off. I've harvested this side last week and they've all shot new flowers. My eggplants, I finally have eggplants, so I was looking forward to actually getting some of those off before the cooler months start to kick in. This eggplant growing in the floating raft is growing like a small tree in comparison to the one in the gravel bed. It's just started producing flowers. It seems to be a few weeks behind in growth rate and production rates to the one in the floating raft, which is taking on a small tree. I have another one over here with the warrigal greens and the hydrogen, but the warrigal greens have gone berserk. They're taking over as I haven't cut back very much with the lettuce growing in the NFT over there. I've been using more of that. Now marigolds have taken off in time to hopefully get rid of the whitefly that seem to have vanished all on their own anyway. New corn taking shape, hopefully get up before winter, and the celery that I have in the PVC pipe is starting to fill out nicely. Not entirely sure how I'm going to get it out of that pipe as yet. Now, at the moment I have some rearranged plumbing because I've put the fish tank pump over this side. The mint that I've been trimming back, could do with another trim back and get some more going, but most of the holes in the raft are filled at the moment. Now the Pennywort on this side is taking off down this side, but it's fighting with the cucumber that I have growing up this side, which seems to prefer growing on the shaded side than it did over there on the actual climber I had set up for it. Spring onions doing really well in the poly system. The weight of them is starting to pull them out, but I'm hoping the roots have developed enough to help hold them in. The parsley much prefers being on this side in the shaded area. As you can see, the afternoon sun over there really beats down on that top row where they were sitting. Now the thyme and the dill are doing quite well, but once again they're starting to get large enough that they're pulling themselves out of the pots just by the weight of the plant itself, so I may have to eventually move them over here into the NFT system and do something with the shade. The strawberries have all set runners, slowly moving them along, filling in other holes with them. The lettuce we've been harvesting just as a salad mix. The basil's all taking off ridiculously and is almost close to start harvesting. The runners I've worried I'm going to have everywhere, including my duckweed. Now the sugar melon I have over here, first one I've grown, is just starting to turn white now, so I'm going to have to look up to tell how you tell when they're ripe, as I have not grown them before. Can't wait to eat those eggplants. As I said, those beds are empty, so hopefully I'll have a video next week showing you exactly how much work I'll have to do. Just show you a few shots of the fish, feeding time. They're slowly getting bigger. I've cut back on feed rates simply because I was overfeeding them and the tank was getting quite dirty. As you can see, they're always hungry. They tell you only feed them what they can eat in 5 minutes, but these fish would eat as long as you kept throwing food at them. So I've cut them back to 40 grams in the morning, 40 grams at night, based on the weight, and they're still showing really good growth rates, and I'm still getting very high nitrates. Okay, thanks for watching guys, and hopefully I'll have some more videos posted on the vet garden to keep you all updated. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching.